uh, Olin Butch Price and Brian Jones, and you're running this Saturday. It's election day. We've just been through a pretty tough ordeal with the mayor in trying to remove a very popular and very effective town manager. The process was a little out of whack. People on the street, when you ask them, say the process was just really wrong the way it happened. So tell us about the process, how you think it can be improved, and what you think should happen in the future to make sure something like this doesn't happen this way.
The way it should work is the mayor obviously felt that there was a job performance issue. He had things lined up, he had issues brought to the table. Before that took place, he should have brought the council in, he should have informed us of the situation, informed everyone on the council what he had, the issues at hand, and we should have had the opportunity to discuss them. And as Butch stated, you know, we should have had the opportunity to bring Ron in, let him explain himself, and then we could have took action if we needed to. But obviously, as a result of Sunday's meeting, the things that the mayor brought forth were not valid. They weren't anything that warranted termination at all. Therefore,
I don't think it should ever happen like this again. First off, the council should be alerted, even if it's confidential or not. It should be alerted that there's a problem that exists and that we need to sit down and have a chat with the employee or whoever it may be, that this should be taken care of in a discreet manner, and give the person an opportunity to realize that we're concerned over their performance or whatever, and say, you know, this is going down in the records as, you know, a performance issue or whatever, and just don't let this happen again, you know, or whatever. At least give us an opportunity to discuss it among ourselves first, and then we talk with the employee way before it ever gets as far as it went this time. Because to me, this went from everything fine to you're out of here. And there was nothing in the middle. And we were not aware at all. And on top of it, when we were made aware of there was a problem, there was no dialogue on what was the problem. And we did not have any idea until Sunday night what that was. And I never want to see it done that way again. I really want to thank Brian for his strength that he had. And I'm so pleased with Ronnie that he stood up to this whole mess and he opened it up to the public. And I praise him over and over again of the quality of a man that he is in there. And I really want to thank Buffalo Nespor, or Brian Nespor, for his support, and that we kept one of the good and better town managers that this town's had in 16 years. The public out there knows that. That's why the public stood behind him. And I really want to thank the public. After a whole week of comments, phone calls, emails that I have received and the support, this has been a very trying time. And the one thing that has come out of it is that I have found that I have so many friends and supporters out there, and my gosh, does that ever help me get through this ordeal.
How do you see your leadership in the future under this mayor for the next 2 years? What's the way forward for you two?
well, as we go forward, and I'm speaking for myself, if the people elect me to serve on the town council again, then what I will do is I will then forthcome to each council, each workshop meeting, and I will have their ideas, their views, their opinions in my best interest, and bring them to the table. And let the other council members know, let the mayor know exactly how I feel. I plan to be more vocal. I plan to bring everything transparent to the table I don't need to hide anything. I don't want to hide anything. And I think the community needs to be aware of what's going on in the government. I think that they especially need to be more aware of what's happening here at the town hall. And they need to be informed, they need to be engaged, they need to be involved. And hopefully with that, all of us can somehow work together, get past the issue that just happened, and strive to maintain what we do here, and that's serve the citizens. And obviously, there's times where we have to go into closed sessions. I mean, there's just times, and that's explained by the Open Meetings Act to protect employees. So if it's personnel issues or land acquisition, anything like that, we have to go into closed session. But we're going to strive to do our best to make sure that we are open as much as we possibly can be, and so that the citizens can be involved.
You are going to reach out and try to work with this mayor over the next 2 years, aren't you?
I am going to do my best, but like I said, I am going to be vocal, and I'm going to bring the issues to the table.
And I wanted to move forward in a good way, and we've got a lot to think about. We've got problems that have to be repaired, that cost money, and we've got to sit down and figure out how this is going to get taken care of. And it really needs to be thought about carefully, so it doesn't affect our citizens financially to the point where it's terrible. We've just got to really seriously think about how we're going to do this, and there's different ways to do this without really getting into the public's pocket, and we need to do this. I've thought in 13 years of my council that you're just, as Brian says, one vote, and you express your ideas or whatever thoughts or ways that you might want to happen. You express them to the best way you can, and whichever way the vote goes, that's the way the vote goes. One thing that I've told Brian over the past 2 years, Brian, vote whichever way you see that you should vote. Don't let anybody else influence you, you know.